Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live for this Wednesday. It's Hump Day, everybody. You made it. You made it to the middle of the week. Congratulations. Middle of the week. Thank you for joining me. This is again Wednesday, July 16th today. 16th. We're flying through the summer, like I said before. I don't know where the summer's gone, but you know what? It's sunny here in Philadelphia, as it should be. Like, they don't call the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for no reason, but I felt like we were getting in an unusual amount of cloudiness here. But the clouds have lifted today. We're good to go. Lots of sunshine, as you can see in the background. Raining in Minneapolis, I guess, according to Shink. Listen, I sympathize with you. It's been that way in Philadelphia for the last few days, too, so we got our fair share. The grass is green. The grass is green. We need some sun now. I'm trying to get back out there and have some fun in the sun. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. Early mornings. Do I have sound going on in the background? Yeah. I had sound. I had intro music going on in the background. Was the intro music wasn't playing? Oh my goodness. Well, no, you know what? My neighbor is doing some heavy duty maintenance out there. So you may hear a weed whacker or a lawnmower or something in the background. If it gets too loud, let me know. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, but it would be good to know that it's loud to you guys. Other than that, though, how's the sound? We good to go? Good to go. Let's get the shout outs going to you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up for the show. And let's see who we got here. Let's get the air horns going for Palm. Palmer's always in here. Palmer, I appreciate you being here. The Rock, thank you for being here, The Rock. We got eInk. We got Aaron, Mr. Media. Who else we got up in here today? I mean, obviously we got The Rock up in here. Let's get the air horns going for The Rock. I appreciate you guys being here and getting this chat started early. It's been a good morning. I got up super early today. Oh, someone's talking like a video. Oh, let's see.
So now I can use a very low infill percentage. I mean, I could still use this lightning infill, which is much more efficient, but the part is pretty much hollow and very fragile. So I very much like.
What is that? Chat, I don't know what that was. That messed up my intro. Hold on, we gotta do the intro again. And you know what else on top of that? No, there was a channel open, and I don't know where that sound is coming from. I don't have any. I don't even have videos queued up for the day. So there should have been no videos playing, and I don't see where there was a video. Oh, I see it. It was a 3D print video. That trash. Let me get rid of that right now. Oh, my bad. Oh my bad, you guys. Someone did really like their infill. Oh my goodness, my bad, you guys. All right, you know what? We gotta start over. we gotta start it over. My bad. I didn't even realize that video was going. That video must have been going for hours. They got their views out of me for that. They got their views out of me. You know what? We gotta start this over. I can't begin it like that. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what? Chat, why do we, before we even get this, why do we do this? Hold on, why don't we do this too? Why don't we just go ahead and fix this? All right, now we start the show. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live for this Wednesday, Hump Day. We all made it. I said that, but it's good to say it again because we made it, and it's good to make it, no matter what you're doing. I appreciate you guys being here for me. We're gonna do it like we never did it before. Let's get the shout outs going to everybody in the crew. We got eInk in the building. We got BM in the building. We got The Rock in the building. Parmesan. Who else we got in here? We got Aaron's in the building. All right, there we go. We got Aaron. All right, so we got everybody. Appreciate you for being here. I don't know what happened there again, but we're gonna get the show started. We're gonna get the show started though. I was gonna do some randos, but we don't even have time to do the randos now. That took so long. Alex, how's it going? Let's get the air horns going for Alex. Appreciate you being here, Alex. Alex, you missed the chaos just now. I don't even know what happened. But we got through it. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get to the stories. The first thing we got up here is going to be we got to start off with Zelda. We got to start off with some Zelda. Oh boy, am I getting some stutter in the video? You guys let me know if it gets distracting, okay? Let me know. Oh, it's part of the charm of the live streams. I get that. I totally get that. But I don't want it to skip though. That I don't want. It's doing it anyway. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna get through the show today. Okay, all right. So first story we have to talk about is actor's name for the live action Zelda. So let's go ahead and get that going. If we can find, oh, you guys, holy cow. Okay, can we? Okay, we got it. I think we got it. We did. Okay. Bam. Live action Zelda. All right, you guys. So here we go. We got the actors for the live action Zelda that's coming. Now, why? Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. Live action Zelda. Why am I concerned about live action Zelda? Because I'm a Nintendo fan. I would assume some of you guys out there are Nintendo fans too. And I don't know how long I've been thinking about and waiting for something like this to happen. But we're here and I appreciate it. I'm glad that we finally got a deal done to where we can bring a Zelda movie to the masses to get everybody in the know about Zelda. Thing about Zelda that a lot of people don't know. Let's just put that out there. Zelda isn't the main character. People think that Zelda is I won't say the hero of the story because he's just a guy. But people think that Link, the dude in the story, is Zelda. Because, you know, it was never made clear in the back in the day when they were selling like the original NES with the gold cartridges you had to blow on before you put them into the machine just to get them to work. They didn't even save. You got to save code back in those days. It spit out a code when you got done playing. And then when you got ready to play again, you put that code in and it would put you at a location that code specified. You didn't save anything, okay? This is before batteries were even in cartridges. That's how old I am. I mean, that's how experienced I am. That's how good of a gamer I am. There we go. So anyway, that's why I'm concerned about this. So I really do like that they've done this. So anyway, I like the fact that now the world is going to know that Zelda is the female in the story and Link is the male in the story. Because people got that mixed up for years. But getting on to it. Now, first when I heard of this, I thought, okay, well, now who's going to play them? They better be beautiful people, okay? They better be beautiful people, okay? And good people. I want to see beautiful, good people to play Link and Zelda. You know what, though? The first thing I thought when I saw this story was I thought of Robin Williams and his daughter that he actually named Zelda. I'm like, you know what would be perfect? It would be perfect if Zelda, the actual person Zelda, was a part of the movie somehow. A cameo, something. I mean, it would be good. R.I.P. Robin Williams, man. That dude was a genius. Back to where we were at, though. So here are the two people we got. We got Bo Braggerson. Okay? I got no problem with Bo Braggerson playing Zelda. I got no problem with that. She looks to be the part, especially in this pic right here. Slide over here, especially in this pic right here. She looks to be that. If that ain't Zelda, I don't know who is. So, there's that. And then we got Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. This dude looks like he should have played one of the princes in Game of Thrones. He should have been, what's the blonde-haired dude's name? I forgot what his name was. The king? After they killed the king? Whatever. It looked like he could have been a brother of his. I don't know. I'm digging Zelda, but their choice for Link, though, I don't know. Listen, he could cry in this picture. Link, don't cry, okay? Link, it just wouldn't happen. So let's just put that out there. Okay, anyway, I have no real problem with Benjamin playing Link. Okay, fine. I'm more impressed with their choice for Zelda. Benjamin will do. He'll do. He'll do. He got the freckles. Does he have freckles? Maybe he doesn't. Okay, but he'll do. He'll do. Just to remind everybody too, what we're gonna do here for the flow of the show, we're gonna go through the news, and then second part of it, we're gonna talk about some eInk, and then we're gonna go into the demonstration of part of the show. After the demonstration part of the show, then we're gonna talk about some. Then we have a back and forth on any tech story that you want to talk about. If you don't know, we have a Discord. The Discord link is in the description. If you're watching the show live, you can join the Discord and go to the events channel, and that way you'll have an opportunity to join the show live. If you throw up your hand in the events channel, let me know you want to say something. That'll be at the end of the show, though. Let me know you want to say something, and at that point, you have a few minutes to kind of ask your question or to get out your piece about a particular topic that we talked about today, or another tech topic that you find super important that you might want to put on our radar, and we can talk about that. But again, that's later in the show, but the Discord link is in the description. All right, next story we got up here is going to be the Comet AI browser. So I've been really interested in the next iteration of what the browsing situation is going to be. And I've posed this question a lot in my past lives about what would happen if Google actually were to do this thing that other companies are doing, but they're too scared to do. I get it. Google's big. They're too big to move like these smaller companies. They got more things to worry about. Okay, they got the government to worry about. So they got things to worry about where these other companies don't. So they can do some things that Google just can't right now. But I just think about how cool it would be if Chrome had two versions, an all AI version, just an AI browser. And then, you can do your other browsing on the regular Chrome. I just want to see what it's like if Google goes all in. Anyway, other companies have already started to go all in with this particular technique of forming your own browser. And we got Comet, the AI web browser. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. All right, so that's not it. Oh, where's Comet? Oh, Comet's... You guys, let's find Comet. We got to find it. Oh, Comet disappeared on us. All right, chat, guess what? I was going to show a demo of Comet, but I don't have it. So we're just going to have to skip that one for now. What's the next story? All right, Adidas 3D print. You know what happened? I probably deleted that one, and that's where the sound from that other video came from. It doesn't matter, though. We're going to get to these 3D printed Adidas. Let's do it. All right, 3D printed Adidas. Let's check that out real quick. Now, these aren't new. 3D printing shoes aren't new, and ways to 3D print shoes aren't new. I think this is interesting because they are doing some other things with the 3D prints that I find fascinating. So this, if you don't know, is Adidas' version of a 3D printed shoe. They came out with another one of these last year, but they didn't have laces. This particular version right here is a laced version. So the other ones were just basically like loafers, slip-ons. They didn't look like loafers. I just called them loafers. But Adidas have released a new variant of their 3D printed Climacool shoes with laces. So you can adjust their fit and potentially tone down how tightly they snug or hug your feet. The interesting part to me is what we have down here. It's how they actually talk about the process in printing. The shoe. All right, so the shoe's main structure is still 3D printed and as a single piece in a process that Adidas keys says takes approximately 24 hours and includes spinning, baking, and compression using high-tech polymers. The upper portion of the Climacool lace feature is a slightly different design than the slip-on that now incorporates printed eyelets. But the tongue and laces are made from different material added afterwards that aren't 3D printed. So I think the part where they talk about the spinning, I think is interesting and unique. I've never heard that in talking about 3D prints. Let me know in the chat if you guys have heard of that already. But very interesting that they're incorporating other processes into the 3D print process or after the 3D print process to make, I'm assuming this is done to make the print look a lot more organic and a lot less 3D printed. But I'm not sure. So I'm going to do some more like digging on that particular process right there to kind of unearth what they're doing with that. But I found that fascinating that there's other techniques involved in the 3D printing process to make them look good and to improve the structure supposedly here. But we'll see. I'll bring that forward if I find something interesting out on that front. The next thing we got here is Google hydroelectric investments in Pennsylvania. My home state. This is my home state now. All right, so Google has invested $3 billion in this particular plant here in Lancaster County. That's about an hour and a half west of my home, Philadelphia. And I should probably go check this out. It's within driving distance for me to just go check it out and come back home in an afternoon. I didn't even know they had one of these in the area, but apparently Google is investing. What do we got here? Google's going to be investing $25 billion in AI infrastructure in the next 2 years, and this is a part of that infrastructure building that they're going to be doing. And of course, we're talking about data center infrastructure, getting power to these data centers. Super interesting and right in my backyard here, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this. But a lot of people, in Pennsylvania, a lot of people get concerned about what projects like this do to water pollution, because this is a hydroelectric plant that powers by moving water, or that gets power by moving water. So, what is the chemical process like? What additives are being added to the water? How is this affecting the local ecology, right? All of these things Pennsylvanians are super concerned about, and it's super green state here. And that's one of the reasons I love it. But so that's one of the things that hit me right off the bat when I saw this story. I'm like, okay, what's going to be the backlash of this? And from what I can tell, there hasn't been any, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's super interesting. Let's go to the chat real quick, you guys. Oh, there we go. Don't apologize. It's part of the show. Yeah, it's part of the time of the show. I also spent the morning learning that second brain was. I sure didn't know it was a thing. Oh boy, we're going to talk about that. That's going to be in the discussion part of the show. So if you want to talk about the second brain topic that we kind of touched on yesterday, we're going to have an open discussion about that at the end of the show. So that's going to be the call-in portion of the show, where you go into Discord, you go into the events channel, and you can raise your hand in the events channel in the event you have something you want to say about that particular topic. But that'll be at the end of the show. Like I said, we'll do that then. All right. What else we got here in the chat? Nintendo should be Netflix. Oh, Nintendo. Oh, as far as making their own IPs for their games. Yeah, they could. I mean, all of the ones they've put out lately have been good, but I'll tell you, in the 80s and I think in the 90s and in the 80s, I think they put out a couple of like Mario movies. They were trash. Like, we did not get video game movies right in the beginning at all. Now we seem to have cracked the code for video game movies. They do really well. That wasn't so much. Wasn't so much in the beginning. What do we have here? Those shoes are trash. Yeah, they remind me of Yeezys. I wouldn't wear them. This is coming from Aaron. I wouldn't wear them, Aaron, for sure. The Rock says, nah, Legend of Zelda was the first battery backup save, I think. No codes. I don't think that was the first Zelda game though. Was it? The gold cartridge one? I know there was a gold cartridge one, and that gold cartridge one was the first one with the battery. But I'm not sure that was the first Zelda game released on Nintendo. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. These shoes are trash. They are. They look like Ken doll shoes. No one likes the shoes. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I think it's interesting. I saw the first time I ever saw a printed shoe was on a bamboo commercial. Speaking of bamboo, you guys, let me make this correction from yesterday's show. Yesterday's show, I talked about a particular candy that I like. That this particular candy doesn't have any additives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. It doesn't have gelatin. It uses pectin, like they should. No high fructose corn syrup. I love these candies. I got the name wrong. They're called Mambas, not bamboos. I was thinking about the printer. We were talking about the 3D printer, and I totally miffed that one. So Mambas was the candy I was talking about yesterday. I was corrected by someone, so I won't say who that is. All right, we got here. Not because they're 3D printed, but because they're ugly, says Aaron. Yeah, I mean, well, have you seen a good-looking pair of 3D printed shoes, though? I guess that might answer the question. It might be because they're 3D printed, and we just don't like the way 3D printed shoes look. Because I've never seen a pair of 3D printed shoes that I liked. So, yeah, that is what it is. While I need to work for Google, they have cash. Man, they're investing tons in AI. Everyone is, though. Everyone's throwing bucket loads of money at AI. I still have thoughts on Second Brain. If you still have thoughts on Second Brain, end of the show, you guys jump into the events channel. We're gonna hash it out. I'll give everyone 2 minutes to say their piece. If we have a lot of people. If we don't have a lot of people, we'll just talk. But if we have a lot of people with their hands up in the event channel at the call-in section of the show, then we'll put a timer up and we'll give everyone a couple minutes to say their piece. Because I think it's an interesting topic. Ed brings up some really interesting points. I think Ed's wrong. Ed thinks I'm wrong, but that's why I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, the gold cartridge Zelda was first Zelda game. Oh. But the rock, so my bad, you guys. So Zelda didn't have the codes, but I do remember the first Zelda with the gold cartridge, and it had a battery. I just assumed that they were, well, not assumed, but I thought there was a Zelda that came out before that. But regardless, games back in the day before that battery came out, you needed a code. There was no saves. You needed a code, or you did like we did back in the day when I was little. We would leave the system on all day and night for days and weeks at a time until it would just shut off. I can't remember what game it was that I played. I left the game on for days at a time. It was such a fun game too. I can't remember. It was an RPG, and I loved it. If I think of the name, I'll throw it. I'll talk about it on another live. But anyway, I might still have the Zelda game at my parents' house. That and Go 13. Oh snap, that's old school there, Aaron. But that's cool that you would even still have a copy of that around. That's awesome. All right, let's get back to these news stories here. Next thing we got up here is going to be AI. Is it changing the way that we talk? Apparently it is. Okay, so this is a particular this is a particular topic that's been gaining some. Can I delete that? Yeah, there we go. This is a topic that's been gaining some traction lately. ChatGPT is changing the words we use in conversation. So let me just give you the overall higher level view of this particular article here. So Hydroelectric, I hope I'm saying that right, Yaramo. I think we see it there on the screen. Do we see it there on the screen? Just in case I am pronouncing it wrong. Where you at? Yeah. Hydroelectric. There we go. So he's a postdoctoral researcher. And where is he stationed at? I think he's Berlin. He noticed changes in his vocabulary and basically wanted to know if the changes he had noticed, other people had noticed as well. And he basically coined a couple of terms that he feels like ChatGPT uses a lot, because he's attributing his change in how he uses words and how he talks to the use of ChatGPT. So basically, he coined a particular phrase, GPT, common GPT words like delve, realm, and meticulous. He dubbed those words GPT words. So that's kind of the point I was getting to there. Dubbing those words GPT words, he went on to try to form studies and try to figure out how people are using these words, if they're using these words more than normal, and in what capacity, right? So they did a study, and they did a study on a bunch of videos, a bunch of podcasts, and they did a study on over I think 26,000 emails and conversations that people were having. And essentially what it came down to and what it boils down to this particular, let me see if I highlighted this here. I didn't highlight it, but let's go ahead and read this section right here because I think this might be informative. The researchers first used ChatGPT to edit millions of pages of emails, essays, and academic and news articles using typical prompts such as polish the text or improved its clarity. Next, they extracted words that ChatGPT repeatedly added while editing, such as delve, realm, and meticulous, dubbing these terms GPT words. The team then analyzed more than 360,000 YouTube videos and 771,000 podcast episodes from before and after ChatGPT's release to track the use of ChatGPT words over time. They compared the GPT words with synthetic controls, which were formed by mathematically weighing synonyms that weren't frequently used by the chatbot. Such synonyms for delve, for example, could include examine and explore. And so that's kind of how they went about doing their study. And it turns out that not only does everyone agree that using these chatbots are changing the way that people talk, and not only just write, but how they talk, and not how they talk in structured ways. But they found out that this was also the case in normal, like everyday conversation. And they basically believe this is going to lead to a shift in how AI shapes the culture, which AI is most and certainly going to shape the culture. And I don't think anyone disagrees with that. And this is just after 2.5 years of having these chatbots in the world. Imagine what we're going to see in a decade. A lot of what they were talking about in this article kind of leads them to thinking that we're going to have a very narrow scope to our dialect and dialogue because of how ChatGPT is shaping our dialect, and everyone's going to start sounding basically the same. That would be sad. That would be super sad because I like talking like me. I like Jay talking like him. I like Sheen talking like her. I like Aaron talking like him. You know, I like everyone talking how they talk. And if everyone's just going to start talking the same and using the same kind of phrases, but that would suck. That would suck a little bit. Let's go ahead and go on to this next story we got here, which is basically going to be Gemini prevents a cyber, not Gemini itself, but Google prevents a cyber attack using an AI agent. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so basically the story here is talking about Google's AI agent, Big Sleep. Now, that is a terrible name for an AI agent that does not virus removal or detection, but vulnerability detection. So essentially what we have here is this AI agent called Big Sheep, developed by DeepMind at Google, is designed to autonomously detect and eliminate vulnerabilities in software. Basically, it first detected its first threat in November 2024, and it's a first successful, or this is the actual software's first successful detection and elimination of a supposed vulnerability in software ever. So this is AI being proactive, not just reactive to threats. They're acting to threats before they happened. Now, I was reading this, and they used a term that I had never seen outside of like fighter jet conversation or military talk. But anyway, it was interesting that they used the word interdiction as what this particular piece of software did for Google. So, not only does Google have very good, have a very good red team, trying to attack and see what kind of vulnerabilities they can find in Google's infrastructure. They also have AI agents that are just deployed throughout their infrastructure that are always searching for vulnerabilities and ways to patch the vulnerabilities. And not only that, but if they haven't found a way to patch the vulnerability, keep an eye on the vulnerability so that if anyone tries to exploit it, they can shut that attack down. It's kind of like what this particular Big Sheep did in this particular instance. Now, I thought this was interesting because, if Google's doing this for their stuff, I just thought, how long will it take for them to kind of deploy this throughout all of their cloud servers that everyone's basically, a lot of companies are using Google Cloud servers. So is this going to be something that's going to be deployed to everyone was my question. And it turns out that, yes, this is something that Google is going to be deploying throughout the rest of their cloud servers, and no matter who is purchasing that space from them, or compute power from them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how I guess the cat and mouse game goes between hackers and people who are trying to stop the hackers, and now hackers have to contend with AI agents, and I think that's kind of leveling the playing field because I think hackers have been using agents since we've come up with AI agents, right? And this is the other side kind of using agents to kind of combat that. Now, I would also go so far as to say they probably stopped a hacking AI agent. Then what does that mean? Agents are going to be doing battle. There's going to be a digital battle going on between AI agents that we know nothing about. It's very interesting story, but very cool to see the evolution of virus protection and vulnerability protections. All right, the next thing we got here is going to be another AI story where AI seems to be no match for the Atari 2600. It didn't want the smoke in a chess match, and let's talk about it. So there's a particular, what's his name? What's this guy's name? Robert Caruso. This guy pretty much is known for pitting AI against the Atari 2600 in chess matches. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out like how this is getting done. Oh, hold on. We got chat. Oh, this is Owen. How's it going, Owen? And thanks for joining the chat, Owen. I'm going to get to the chats right after this. But I thought this was interesting because I'm like, how is this guy testing the Atari 2600 against AI in chess? I couldn't actually figure that out. So if you guys know, and this story doesn't get into the hows of that, if you guys know, throw that in the chat for me. I would love to talk about that. But apparently, this gentleman had a conversation with Gemini, the chatbot, before he pitted it against the Atari 2600. And the chatbot started asking him questions like, how do the other AIs do against the Atari 2600? Did he notice anything, weird about the competition? Anything interesting? And, he basically told the chatbot that the other AI thought they were way better than the Atari 2600 and they were super cocky. And it turns out that they weren't as good. And so after hearing that, this is a direct quote. This is the direct quote that he says the AI told him. Now, I'm skeptical of people's AI quotes, but here we go. Let's read this verbatim here. Canceling the match is likely the most time efficient and sensible decision. Now, I don't know what would prompt the AI to feel like it couldn't beat the Atari 2600, but I think that's an interesting response nonetheless. It's like, listen, according to what you're saying here, I have no chance. And instead of being embarrassed in front of the world over a match I won't win because if the other AIs didn't, I probably won't either. You know what? Let's just call it what it is. There's no need to do this. There's no need to embarrass myself here. Let's just call it. And I can still say that I could beat it if I wanted to. I just didn't want to do it today. I'm loving AI. AI is so great. Let's go to the chat real quick. The guy cast as Zelda in the Zelda movie is not what I imagined. No. I did not. That's not what I saw for Zelda. Thank you, Owen, because I didn't see that. The Rock says the kid they cast as Link looks. Oh, the guy they cast as Zelda. Oh no, my bad. See, here I am perpetuating the Zelda stereotype. No, the dude is Link. The kid they cast as Link looks close to young Link in Ocarina of Time. My vision of Link is long hair. I don't see Link. Hold on, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this guy. None of this guy's pictures show him with long hair, and that's how I see Link. With long hair. Almost like a mullet. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Well, I guess better Chat GPT than Grok, who apparently is bringing back the 1940s in a real way. Now, listen, I agree. I've been reading up on that Grok stuff, and it is some scary stuff. Owen says, as a Briton, none of speaking the way you do is good enough for me. Oh wow. So if AI is The Rock says, so if AI is computational statistics, GPT is using words that is used most for the specific use case. It's spitting back words that we're using most anyways. It's spitting back words. It's spitting back the most statistically the highest probability that it's going to be the word we're going to use, right? It's still a probability thing. Statistical probabilities is what it's doing. What's in the string of words I'm about to create, what's the most logical next word to say? And then AI has a lot of checks and balances. At the point to where it's trying to figure out what word to say next, it's not just trying to figure out a word. It has a hierarchy of words that it could choose from. Right? And it could not choose the word that has the highest probability. It has the decision making to not choose that for the situation or for the setting that the people who were training the model picked. If I'm misinterpreting that, someone let me know. If I'm misunderstanding that, let me know. But from my understanding of how AI works, it's not just 95% of the time we pick this word, so let me pick that word. No, it doesn't necessarily pick the highest probable word. It picks from a selection of high probability words, not just one. And that what it picks depends on what the temperature that is set on that particular model. And that has all kind of cascading effects, right? So it all depends. So it's not just one particular word it's searching for. It's going to pick from a group of words. Owen says, you're seeing the first signs of AI being used in a way that integrates it into our life instead of just being a novelty. Yeah. I do think this is the way, though. Don't get me wrong. I do think this is the way. I think AI is the way moving forward, like how computers were the way moving forward at one point, and then the natural progression internet, was the way to move forward after that. I think the next progression is AI, and yeah. It's good to know your limitations, says eInk. Absolutely. And everything in moderation. BM says AI is using reverse psychology. Chess quote. It just it's like, listen, I know what's going to happen in this situation, so there's no need to put myself through it. In pure behavioral economics, quitting is a valid outcome and often the most optimal solution. It's anthropomorphizing to associate quitting with shame. Absolutely. it's not, that is a total logical progression in a train of thought. Like think about it. For someone to say, hey, I'm going to pit you against this dude who's 3 times your size. He has weapons, you have none. But you have a choice whether you want to fight him and to prove whether you can beat him or not. I'm going to look at that and be like, no, I'm good. There's no need to prove anything here. Straight. There's no need for me to admit I would lose or anything. It's just, there's no need. There's nothing to prove here. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So let's go on to the last thing we got up here, which is going to be the AirPod 2's accessibility features arrive in new countries. Let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so we talked about a little while back how AirPods were essentially adding a lot of accessibility features to them, and how, we thought that was a good thing, and how a lot of consumer electronics should kind of move things in that way. And we have the story here, just updating a couple things on that. But like I said, we touched on this a little while back. This hit home with eInk a little while back too, to where we had a conversation about accessibility in earpieces, like how the iPods are, or the Pixel Buds for the Google platform, and how they could add functionality into them to help everyday consumers, right? They have the ability to boost the volume of the outside sounds, and that's essentially what a hearing aid does, right? And since they have that ability, why not get them certified with the FDA and make this something that you can get over the counter? And that's kind of what we have here. So last year, Apple made that possible with the AirPod Pro 2s. Basically got them FDA approved to be viable as hearing aids. So essentially, if you if your insurance covers hearing aids, the AirPod 2s would be an option for your insurance to cover for that cost, right? Because they're FDA approved now. So this is just another continuation to that story. I think that's an awesome thing. A lot of technologies are going that way too, not just Apple, but a lot of companies are putting these accessibility features and getting them certified with government agencies to be used for a lot of different purposes, and insurance is one of those purposes. But these are the countries they're extending the functionality to. Here's a list of countries and territories that just got access to both of the features, and both of the features that they're talking about are the hearing aid accessibility features of the AirPod Pro 2s, and there's another feature for the watch, which is sleep apnea. So there's a sleep apnea function on Apple Watches, and the functionality has always been available in the US since launch, but it wasn't available in these countries. So these countries include Argentina, Australia, Ecuador, Honduras, Indonesia, Israel, Kazakhstan, Moldova, Palestine territory, Serbia, Taiwan, Thailand, Ukraine, and Vietnam. Those countries are getting that functionality now. And just the Apple Watch function, I think, is what the second list is. Yeah, so this is just a sleep apnea that they're adding. These are both of the countries. This list looks like both of those features, or both of those features apply to both of these lists right here. So yeah, those are the countries that are getting those features now. I think it's great that they're expanding this functionality to more countries and making it available for more people who, I talk about affordability the last time we talked about this, and it just, AirPod Pro 2s are expensive, but compared to actual hearing aids, that's cheap. You know what I mean? So getting this functionality to people who can't afford those $3,000 hearing aids, man, I think it's awesome. And well worth bringing attention to it and calling out. So next thing we got here is going to be, what we got up here? Oh, we got eInk news. So let's go ahead and jump into the eInk stuff. All right, everybody. couple things we want to talk about with the eInk today, and one thing I want to talk about is the eNote. I've been talking about the eNote all week with the update I got with the email, and then the added information I got about the mystery device. I'm excited. I can't wait. And then when I got all this, looking at all that information when I got the email on Monday or Sunday night, I basically went to dust the eNote off to kind of look at what they've done in the meantime since the last time I looked at it. And lo and behold, there was an update. So let's go ahead and take a look at the update and talk about some of the features, because I think at least 2 or 3 of these features were huge to me. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. Let me open this up here. We're going to go ahead and get to, there we go. We're going to go ahead and get to the update screen here, and then we'll come back here just so I can show off what the updates we're doing here. All right, so we go to the online upgrade section here. So here we go to the update description here. And let's read these off. First off, we got Penstar eNote upgrade instructions, which is just, these are just change logs. First thing we got up here is system and application. So these next few things are just going to apply to that. Fixes the issue of Gmail login failure, which I didn't experience, but I went to go log in to Gmail after I saw this just to make sure that everything was good, and everything works fine. I guess this might have been something that affected some users, but not all. Added simulated touch function to the stylus shortcut button and support to disable the function button. Now, I think this is one of those huge features, and I'll demo this here in a second. But one of my biggest gripes about the eNote was that you could not, you didn't have a way to kind of manipulate PDFs when you zoomed in on them. The zooming was awkward. Manipulating the actual page to where you wanted to see it at was kind of awful at that time too. So, and that's what I was like, touch functionality would have gone so far in helping this situation. But they've added that now. Let's go to the chat real quick before we finish this up. And night, ChatGPT just felt sorry for Grandpa and wanted to give him a last day in the sun. No doubt. That's hilarious. She ain't LOL. Grandpa's got game. Yep. The 2600, listen, it's still kicking. Yep, I just use my pods every day at work. Yeah. That's and like I said, that's great that they're bringing that functionality to more of the world. Man, it would be nice for everyone to do that with all of their earbuds. I want to say the Pixel Buds do this too, but they're not certified like Apple has theirs certified with the FDA. Glad to see it getting more mainstream. Wish insurance would cover my eInk screen too as well. Yes. Maybe we'll get there. I might buy the Note this week to try it out. Oh, for real? Wow. Interesting. Well, I mean, they're making it better, and they've done a couple things here that I think are worth mentioning, Aaron. So let's go ahead and get into more of that. So next thing we have here is the next section we have here is just for the notes here. So these next updates are just in the notes app. We have add zoom function, so you can zoom in on your notes now. I tried that. We'll talk more about it. Added AI underline erase function. I don't know where that's at. I look for that. And if it's in the notes, we'll look for it again when I go into the notes. But I didn't see that, so that's a mystery. Add support for moving note page function. So that was sorely missing. I'm glad they added that, but they still didn't. And maybe this fixes my overall problem with moving notes too, or trying to copy a note and move it somewhere else, or copy a page and move it to another note. That was almost impossible before. I mean, you could do it, but it was like a long workaround to it. Maybe this fixes that for me. We'll look at it. Lasso adds the function of deleting and modifying handwriting color. So that's interesting, and I like the addition of more tools in the shortcut. If you've been around the live show for any extended period of time, or just the channel, you know how I feel about the tools at the site of selection, the toolbar there. People are like, oh, the tools in the toolbar, bro. Yeah, I know. but I want it at the site of selection. I want it in that toolbar. Give me contextual tools there. So they seem to be adding to their collection of contextual tools. Add multi-language recognition function for text conversion. So it does more languages to convert that you can convert to when you're converting handwriting, or it recognizing your handwriting and converting to text. So it recognizes more languages now. Add QR code and image sharing methods for notes sharing. We're going to try to demo that too. I tried to get that to work. I couldn't figure that totally out. Let's get into it though. All right, so we're going to get into the Notes app here. Let's back up a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, so getting into the Notes app here, we have recents. Maybe we'll jump back into that one. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is, like I said, the Gmail thing is working. I have no problem with that, so I'm not going to get into that. But added simulated touch function. So the added simulated touch function essentially works like this. Let's go back to the settings, actually. We're going to go to the settings, and we'll go to General. And if you go to the stylus settings down here in your settings here, you'll get right below the calibration, you'll get stylus button settings, and you can click on that. And this is where you're gonna find those particular settings that I was just talking about. So for the button, you can click on the button here, and you can change the button to be an eraser. So if you're holding it, it'll be an eraser. You can have it be the marker or pen. You can have it switch between those two depending on what you have the main writing part set to, or you can have the button be a touch. So we're gonna go ahead and change it to touch, because right now I have it as eraser. And we'll go back into Notes here. I don't know what that is. There we go. All right, so this is where I think it would have been really nice in the PDF viewer. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in on this. Jay says, I'm going to love the Boox 4.1 update. Tools at the site of selection. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. The screen is great. I can't lie, Aaron. The screen, as far as how it looks and the parallax, nothing can compete with this particular screen right now. It works really well. Or it looks really good, too. And the contrast is really nice. I like what they did with the screen. It looks really good. And you know what else I'll say too? This pen, it's a proprietary pen, right? And they won't go into details with me on this. I don't know what the deal is, but it has double the pressure sensitivity of like the most of the Wacom pens that we use, and you can tell because the sensitivity is so good on this. Like I can do this right here with it. And the progression from light line to heavy line, there's a lot of steps in between. I mean, I don't know. And it's gradual too. It's not like, I don't know. I really do like the way they did it. They did a good job with it. They did a really good job with it. Anyway, moving on. So we've already zoomed into the page here, so I can keep zooming in. And right now, you can see if I try to move the pen across the page, it's going to write, right? But if I hold the button down and make the pen into what it calls a touch, it basically simulates your finger moving something around. So I'm going to push that, and now now allows me to manipulate the page in a direction that I want. Still not perfect, but at least it's an option. And I'll take that, because the only other way you would have to do this, they don't even let you do it in here. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so you could have manipulated here, But that would have been the only other way you could have done it, right? But this lets you get a little more granular with how you move it around, way more granular than you could have gotten with this magnification window right here. So I think adding touch to the button here, more options is always good, right? More options, now this button can be erase, it can be select, it can be, what else can it be? It can be touch, right? So it can be a few things now. So I like added options to this. All right, next up we got is add zoom function. So we saw the zoom function here. We saw the touch function as well. Support for moving note page function. So let's look at the moving pages, right? And I'm thinking the way you would do that is from this here. Yeah, that's the way. So right now you can hit edit, and it'll let you select a note. Now this wasn't possible before. You couldn't move pages from your notebook to anywhere else before. Now it's possible with this particular system. So definitely a big plus. So now I can select the page here, and I get options. I can copy, save as, select all, duplicate, insert, forward, next, as far as moving it back and forth inside of its own notebook. Now I also have the option to move it outside of the notebook that it's in with the move option. So now you get the categories here, and this is my folder system essentially. So now I basically have a way to move a page outside of the note that it's in, whereas before that was not an option. So that's great to see that, and that's going to make moving whole notebooks easy too, because before, like I mentioned earlier, one of my problems with the file structure for the eNote was that you couldn't like duplicate a notebook and move it somewhere else. Kind of like create a template notebook and then make copies of that template and move those around in places where you want copies of it. So it's just a template. You couldn't do that easily before. You could, but it was painstakingly tedious. Now that's easy. I can just basically select all of these pages that are in this notebook, and then they'll all be moved together to wherever I want them moved. Now that still requires you to have to go in and create a folder for them beforehand, right? But at least that's one extra step versus like the 5 or 6 extra steps that it took me before this particular update to do that. So that's a welcome addition as well. Next thing we got up here is the added multi-language recognition. I can't test that because I only know one language. Add the function for customizing different templates for multiple pages. Now, I tried that functionality as well. I could not get that to work. So basically what they're saying is you should be able to select a template. Like I have this particular notebook has 3 pages in it. I have this notebook right here, and essentially, if I wanted to change the template for this particular page and every page after it, on the Supernote, there's a way to do that. I think on the Remarkable, there's Onyx with Onyx Boox products, there's a way to do that as well. Other platforms can do it. This one, you couldn't do that. Now, it says that you can do that now, which is essentially what the update is saying, but I couldn't find a way to do that. So me going into the template right here, I could select a new template to add to that particular page, but it doesn't give me the option to make it apply to all pages like you would get in another platform. Let's just say, let's bring up the Note Air 4C here. Will it? Yeah. All right. Let's get to a page we can deal with here. All right, we'll just, oh, no, we'll add a new page to this. Oh, there we go, add page. All right, so basically we have a page here. Now, this is the template it's going to be. I think there's a page after this. Yeah. So if I wanted to change the template for this, you see here I have the templates I can select, right? But at the top here, let me zoom in on that. At the top here, I also have the option to apply to all pages. So I can make this template apply to the current page only, or I can make this a template apply to all the pages in this notebook. Now that's kind of what I thought I was going to get with the eNote update, but as you can see here, let's just take a look at this again. But as you can see here, that's not what you get. You just get the template here. Now, well, that's just creating a template, so basic templates. So I'm gonna just pick a template and I'm gonna long press on it. So long pressing on it doesn't do anything. You don't get any extra options right there. But now I'm gonna just pick one, and we'll pick this one. Now, picking it didn't give me a drop down or anything like that I could, that gave me an option to apply that template to all pages. So I'm not sure what that's about. So I'll keep looking at that. I may have to send them something saying, hey, what is the deal with the add template to all pages thing? It doesn't work like it should. At least I can't figure that particular thing out. All right, the last thing we got here is going to be add QR code and image sharing methods for note sharing. So basically, we're going to do a note share here. And I'm going to share export. So essentially what you have here, when you go to share, you can use the QR code option here. And now this backed up file that's been backed up, because that's basically what's happening. It's backing it up and then giving you a QR code that will link to that backed up file. And now you can now I can share this code, this file with just a QR code. Don't use my QR code, bro. All right, and that's that. All right, I think those are some worthy additions. Let's go to the chat real quick. It just got hot in here. Holy cow. Hold on, you guys. All right, chat. Holy cow, your boy was sweating up a storm. It got hot and I didn't even notice it. Now the air is on, thank God. Holy cow. It's going to be a scorcher in Philly today. That caught me off guard. Holy cow. All right, let's get to the chat. I might, there we go. The screen looks great. Yeah, it does look great. I think we talked about that already. You're going to love the Boox 4.0 update. I'm going to check it out. I'm sure I will if they got more tools in the site of selection. Jay's in the beta. Got to check. Oh, okay. The new update is not available for the 10.3. The Note Air 4C, maybe? Hopefully, it'll make it to the Go 10.3 soon. I switched tools a bit in design. The Rock. Okay. I'll check that out. Maybe we can demo some of that on tomorrow's show. Maybe we can do that there. All right, you guys. Now it's time for the last part of the show where we're going to talk about this second brain stuff. So let's do it. All right, we're going to switch over to Discord, okay, you guys, for this particular section. Now, just so everyone knows, for this last part of the show, we just switch over to Discord. Discord link is in the description. And what you could do is go to the events channel, and if you're there in the events channel during this part of the show, and you want to talk about the topic that we're talking about, which maybe I can change the event topic. Let's see. Can I change the event topic? No. But the topic today is going to be second brain stuff. So if you have something to say about the second brain system, if you want to chime in on that to any event, we're gonna be over there talking about it. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the live over to Discord now, and I'll have myself in the corner over there. But we'll be talking over there with this. Let's see here. I'm unmuted, I think. Oh boy. Oh, I am. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the Discord. All right, so again, we're going to be talking about the second brain stuff for this part of the show. I'm going to go ahead and say my piece real quick. I'm going to show my piece real quick. Let's go back over here. Let's go back over here real quick. So this right here is what I wanted to show before we get started on the second brain thing. So essentially, just if you ask, we're going into Google Gemini, first example of humans using a second brain system. That's what I typed in. And this is what I got, and this is what I got in response. As a matter of fact, let's check this out here. All right, yep, this is going to do. Oh, no, it won't do. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay. All right, so what I typed in is first examples of humans using second brain system, right? And this is what I got. Now, we got, this is an AI overview. But what we have here is the AI overview with pointed out quotations from reputable sources. All right, so let me just give you what the definition of this is. The idea of second brain, an external system for managing information and knowledge, has roots that extend far back into human history, predating the modern concept popularized by Tycho Forte. I hope I'm saying that right. While the term second brain is recent, the core concept of offloading information from one's mind to external tools for storage and retrieval dates back to the dawn of writing and information organization. So that's exactly what I was saying yesterday. That once we started writing and tabulating, which basically writing down something and storing information so we didn't have to remember it, or so that we could remember it in a pristine way by offloading that bit of data to something else that wouldn't forget it, like a tablet, a piece of parchment, whatever the case, that is a second brain system. Now, early examples of this include ancient writing systems, the invention of writing systems like cuneiform and hieroglyphics allowed early civilizations to record laws, transactions, historical events, and transactions is what I was talking about yesterday too. You want to know how many grains of barley you gave to this particular dude last harvest in turn for some of his harvest next season. How do you remember what that was? How do you both agree on what that was? It's tabulated. Second brain. Historical events and cultural narratives, extending memory beyond individual minds and enabling knowledge transmission across generations and geographical areas. How did they do it? Wax tablets, scrolls, parchment. Ancient Greeks and Romans utilized wax tablets for temporary notes. Egyptians used parchment and scrolls for more permanent record keeping, effectively acting as early forms of external memory storage. That's all second brain is, external memory storage. It's not about how you organize it. How you organize it could be better than somebody else's technique for organizing their information, but that doesn't make it a second brain because you organize your information in a specific way. That doesn't make it second brain. That just means you have a second brain system and you do it a specific way. That's all that means. Anytime, if I write down, Roderick, you have to remember to buy apples next week for your yogurt and get more honey because you're out of that too. And you know you like granola, so remember to buy that. That's second brain. The moment I write that down on a piece of paper with the intent of resurfacing it later so I don't forget, I've employed or deployed a second brain system. I think that's as simple as it gets. Now, these early methods, though different in form from modern digital tools, served the same purpose: to store and organize information outside of the human brain. That's all a second brain is: a way to store information outside of your brain. I don't understand like how. Anyway, what else we have here? Allowing for easier retrieval, comparison, and analysis. The very act of writing and externalizing information has been shown to enhance cognitive functions like memory, critical thinking, and creativity, according to MSU Denver. And like I said, that's the pure definition of second brain to me. Now, everyone has their own way of doing it. But it's all second brain. It's all second brain. Let's go to the chat. That second brain summary didn't even use the word delve. Good one, Rock. Good one. Touche. All right, now over to let's go over to Discord. All right, if anyone has anything to say about this, we got eInk in here. eInk has her hand up. Let's get to eInk real quick. Oh, can I do it? Oh, I did. All right, I've accepted it now. You can accept it, eInk, to come on up to the. I think that's how that works. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hold on.
There we go.
Oh, I made a mistake. eInk, we got one more thing to do. Oh boy. All right. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Can you hear me, eInk?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I can hear you as well. All right, let me make sure we're good with the Discord.
Yes,
all right, are we good? YouTube? Let us know in the chat there.
All right, so what are you gonna... Right?
Oh, you know what? You sound a little robotic. Here, let's try this again.
That's probably my signal.
Is it? Okay. All right. We can hear you though.
Okay. So I totally disagree with everything that was just said.
Okay. Why do you disagree with it?
And I'm gonna be spicy about this because there are notes, right? Like we all need notes. We all write stuff down. We all have reasons to write stuff down.
Right.
I use sticky notes all the time, right? To tell my boss, you need to remember this, or this patient said that, or leave a sticky note and say, I need milk, whatever, right?
All right, eInk, you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up. Let's try to pull you up again. So I'm gonna put you back down, and we'll pull you back up again and see if that fixes it. All right, let's see if we can get this fixed here. I think I know how to do this. Oh, I'm at the wrong spot. My bad. All right, we're gonna pull it down here, and then I'm gonna pull you back up. Let's see here. I think. There we go. All right. All right, so go ahead and throw the hand up again, eInk. There we go. Cool. All right, I just accepted it. Let's see how it sounds now.
Sorry if my signal doesn't work this time.
All right, no, you're good. Just go ahead, because I think what you have to say is important. So we should definitely get through it.
Okay. In my experience, there are notes that you're not going to need ever again. You use them once, done, gone. You're passing information to someone else that no longer is part of your brain. You're getting it out of your brain, giving it to another brain, whatever. Yes, I see that we would not have second brains if we didn't have writing and data systems. But I think there is a big difference between just writing something down, because you got to remember it, to having a second brain that you have to rely on in order to do the thing that you have to do with remembering, with getting doing your repetitive actions that, I'm dealing with a specific insurance and I have to send them information in a specific way. I'm not doing that every day. I don't remember that. I did it 3 months ago. So I have to be able to go back and retrieve that information. Everybody takes notes. Who needs a second brain or uses it as a second brain?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So let me just make sure I'm understanding, because like I said, you were cutting out a little bit, but I'm just going to reiterate it for the audience and just so I understand. So basically, what you're saying is, just because you have to remember something doesn't mean it's a second brain system. You're saying you think it's more about the technique that makes it second brain. Am I getting the overall gist of it?
And the volume of information. And the information.
Okay, and you're saying and the volume of information, and what else?
The retrieval.
Okay, the retrieval. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So basically, the technique is involved. A lot of technique is involved in how you consider things to be second brain or not. Not just the act of doing it, but how you do it, and the amount.
Yeah, because under the definition that was discussed, a library could be a second brain.
And
right?
And you wouldn't consider a library being
a library.
And you wouldn't consider that second brain.
Right, it's a container of information, and it is set up with a method for retrieval, but it's not my second brain because I don't know what's in there. I don't know where everything is.
I see. Okay, I see what you're getting at. Like you're personalizing it, saying it's not particular to me, so it's not second brain for me. I get that. I totally understand that, and that's definitely a valid point. Definitely a valid point. And like I said,
there's a lot of databases out there, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that.
And I think there's a big difference between a library and a database and a second brain.
And all of that is technique.
It's all classifications of information.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that insight there, Sheik, and I appreciate you giving me that perspective.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's always good to get your take on this. Let's see what Aaron has to say. Thanks, Sheik.
Absolutely.
All right, Aaron, you're in the chat. If you want to chime in, or Dave's down there too, but I think Dave's been down there for a minute. If you have anything you want to add, Aaron, throw the hand up so I can invite you up if you want to do that. All right, there we go. All right, let me see if I can get this to work. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I got it. Bam. All right, I'm learning. All right, Aaron, you should be able to accept it and come up. You're muted. Oh, there we go. Oh. Aaron, your mic is muted. All right, I don't know if Aaron can hear me. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let Aaron know his mic is muted. Well, that was while Aaron recognizes his mic is muted, that was a really good take that I didn't think about before. Especially when you put it in context of having information stored in different ways, like Sheik was talking about data centers, libraries, and just her personal second brain system are not all considered to her second brain systems just because they're not personal to her. And I can totally get that and totally understand that argument. My thing is, I guess I'm being more general, And and this stuff is all open to interpretation, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because everybody can have their own perspective on what this means to them. And is it a thing like? Is there a right and wrong way? I guess is another question that can be asked of this whole thing. All right, so I don't think Aaron. Oh, there we go. You there, Aaron? All right, so you're unmuted now, but I can't hear you. Oh, he's backed out. I think. Oh, there he is. He's back in. All right, let's see if we can get Aaron attached this time to the conversation. There we go. All right, and there we go. It should. You there with me?
All right, can you hear me?
Yep. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good.
You know what? I'm starting to think this is my internet that's causing this because you sound like eInk did it. I'm sure it's not both of y'all. This is probably me. But go ahead. I'm gonna try to or like encapsulate what you're saying because I can hear you pretty good. It's just kind of stuttery. But like I said, I'm sure that's me.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I was in the Discord yesterday when we were talking with Ed. I always just start from what I've been studying.
Hold on, Aaron. Hold on, Aaron. Hold on one second. Hold that thought. Let me stop this and then because it's starting to sound the same way, and I want to make sure that you get heard because I don't want both of our conversations to not get heard here. One second. I may have to close this. I may have to close the Discord and bring it back up. All right. Let me close the Discord on my end, and I'm going to bring it back up. All right, YouTube. We're learning. We're getting there. How you guys doing, though? Hope you're having a good day. Oh, it's 11:30. Holy cow. I am not going to have these windows open anymore while I'm in here doing a live stream. Holy cow. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I think I can get in here. Oh, wow. So it doesn't even recognize that I started the thing? Oh, you guys. Oh, there we go. I am here. Oh, okay. So once I backed out, it kicked me out as the person who started the chat. So it won't allow me to do it. That sucks. I wonder if I can. No, I can't. All right, you guys. I'm not sure if I can. When I backed out, it kicked me out, and now it doesn't know. Now I can't. Now I'm not hosting it anymore, so I can't pick people. Oh, that sucked. Oh, that sucks. All right, Aaron. Hey, my bad, you guys. So I'm not going to be able to do the ending of that particular segment there because I backed out of it, and now I'm not the host anymore, so I can't even pick people to talk. So that's a learning lesson. I won't do that again. Learn my lesson on that one. Aaron, my bad, brother. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to this conversation tomorrow because I think that's an important conversation to have and an important conversation to flesh out. And I want to give everyone a chance to say something about it. So we'll try that again tomorrow, you guys. So my apologies on that front. Let's see here what we got. All right, and I think that's going to be the end of the show, you guys. Like I said, we're gonna get that call-in portion of the show fleshed out and like working to a degree that works. My apologies to eInk and my apologies to Aaron for it not being what it should have been today. Yesterday it worked pretty fine. Today, not so much. But I'll make sure I restart it or try to figure out what caused that connection issues or what started causing those connection issues today. Hopefully you guys can join me tomorrow, 10 a.m. To kind of whenever, 11. I'm going to make sure it's 11. And hopefully it won't be so hot in here. Like, holy cow, I am sweating up a storm in this room. This live took it out of me today. Sitting right in front of these windows, it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a good idea at all. The sunlight wasn't worth the trade-off. Again, thank you guys for being here. I'll hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow, Thursday show. Then we have a Friday show after that. We're also planning a podcast for the weekend. So I'm gonna try to get that working and try to figure out the details on that and get that information in the Discord for you. Again, if you want to join the Discord, the link is down in the description of this video here. You can attempt to do more things like this if you join the Discord. It didn't work today, but we're going to get it working and fleshed out for next time. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys have a nice day, and take care.